We've always taken it for granted that we know every single planet in the solar system. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. 8 distinct worlds, 8 spherical bodies all orbiting around the Sun. Each one of them has been studied to some degree, photographed from various angles, and their positions tracked with pinpoint accuracy at any given moment. But are we really sure about that? Hey everyone, great to see you! Out beyond Neptune's orbit, where the Sun is reduced to nothing more than a faint distant speck of light, something massive and mysterious might be lurking in the cold and dark, something completely hidden from view. Some scientists believe that drifting through that outer zone is a hidden giant that's been quietly tugging on the orbits of other celestial bodies, leaving behind subtle but distinct gravitational footprints. It's like a shadow gliding silently along the very edge of our solar system. No one has ever seen it, but somehow everyone feels its presence. Welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning into our channel. So then, what exactly is this mysterious world? And why is it that humanity has suddenly started thinking about the number 9 again? Getting curious yet? Then let's jump right in and get started. Pluto, the lost 9th planet. Once upon a time, there really was a 9th planet in our solar system. That distant world was proudly named Pluto, after the ancient Roman god who ruled over the underworld. The discovery of Pluto happened back in 1930. A young American astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh noticed a tiny moving dot on a photographic plate, slowly drifting among the fixed stars. And just like that, humanity set its sights for the very first time on the dark, uncharted depths beyond Neptune, a region we once believed to be completely empty. Pluto became a global sensation. Textbooks were updated, school children learned a brand new 9th name, and it felt as if the solar system had finally reached completion. But as time passed, astronomers kept making new discoveries. Far beyond Neptune's orbit, dozens of other small, icy, faint objects began to appear. It soon became clear that Pluto wasn't quite as unique as we'd once thought. Pluto turned out to be just one of countless icy bodies floating in the vast region known as the Kuiper belt. The Kuiper belt lies beyond Neptune and forms a frozen ring filled with thousands of tiny objects and leftover debris from the earliest days of the solar system. That's when scientists were faced with a tough question. If there are thousands of similar objects out there, then why should Pluto alone be called a planet? Then, in 2005, astronomers Mike Brown, Chad Trujillo, and David Rabanowitz discovered a Kuiper belt object named Eris, which was nearly the same size as Pluto and even slightly heavier. The following year, in 2006, the International Astronomical Union officially stripped Pluto of its planetary status and reclassified it as a dwarf planet. And just like that, humanity lost its 9th planet. And for the first time in decades, we began to realize the solar system wasn't as simple as we'd once imagined. The legend returns, a new hypothesis for a hidden world. But the story didn't end there, not even close. While some astronomers were still caught up in the debate over Pluto's status, others had begun noticing something strange. Out at the farthest edge of the solar system, a collection of small, icy worlds, objects in the Kuiper belt and even farther beyond, in a region filled with what are known as trans-Neptunian objects, were all tracing surprisingly similar paths through space. It was as if some invisible force was pulling them, quietly drawing them all in the same direction. Was this just a weird coincidence? In science, coincidences almost never turn out to be just that. Then, in 2016, American astronomers Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin proposed a bold new idea. They suggested that hiding somewhere beyond Neptune's orbit might be a massive object with intense gravity, powerful enough to control the movements of dozens of distant celestial bodies. This, they argued, could be the real 9th planet. Based on their calculations, this mysterious world could be anywhere from 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, orbiting the Sun at a distance of several 100,000 astronomical units, which would place it dozens of times farther out than Neptune. The theory caused a sensation. Scientists and journalists alike began talking about the 9th planet once again. Only this time, it wasn't some tiny icy fragment. It was something much more dramatic. A colossal unseen planet that could change the way we understand the very edges of our cosmic home, the solar system itself. The Invisible Giant, a portrait of Planet 9. If Planet 9 really does exist, then without question, it would be the most mysterious world in our entire solar system. Based on calculations, its mass is estimated to be 5 to 10 times greater than Earth's, making it something like a scaled-down version of Neptune. Because scientists believe this planet is composed largely of supercritical ices beneath a thick atmosphere of hydrogen and helium, they often refer to it as a mini Neptune, or sometimes even a super-Earth. But what's truly mind-blowing about it is how incredibly far it is from the Sun. Its orbit is thought to be extremely stretched and tilted, with its farthest point, or aphelion, reaching somewhere between 400 and 800 astronomical units away. Just for comparison, Neptune orbits only about 30 astronomical units from the Sun. That means Planet 9 could be sitting out there at a distance 20 times farther than what we've always considered the edge of the solar system. At such an extreme distance, the Sun would barely shine, nothing more than a tiny spark, like the glimmer of a distant star, and a single year on this planet could last tens of thousands of Earth years. If you ever set foot on this planet, you wouldn't see the Sun as a brilliant glowing sphere anymore. Instead, it would appear as a small bright dot in the sky, much like how Venus looks from Earth. But there's something else about this world that's even more puzzling. Its orbit is believed to be drastically different from those of the other planets. Not only is it elongated, but it's also tilted at a steep angle compared to the plane in which the others revolve. The 8 known planets, including Earth, all orbit on roughly the same flat surface, known as the ecliptic plane. In contrast, Planet 9's orbit is believed to tilt about 15 to 20 degrees off that plane. Some scientists think this strange tilt might be a leftover scar from a powerful gravitational collision in the distant past. And maybe, just maybe, that collision involved the Sun capturing this planet from another star system entirely. If that's true, then Planet 9 isn't just a missing piece of our solar system's puzzle. It could be a true outsider, a traveler from a completely different world. Which means this planet might carry traces of another solar system altogether, and possibly the faint echoes of life that began far from our own. Back in its original star system, it might have once orbited within the habitable zone. Bathed in warm light, it could have had just the right conditions for life to begin and grow. How far that life may have evolved, we simply don't know. Today, its surface is likely locked in a deep freeze, with temperatures plunging below -330 degrees Fahrenheit, and its landscape buried beneath frozen gases and methane frost. This is a realm ruled by cold and eternal darkness. And yet, it may be in this vast and frozen frontier that the final missing piece of our solar system lies waiting, the world humanity has imagined, debated, and dreamed about for nearly a century. Searching in the dark. The hunt for Planet X. In 2016, when Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin announced that a massive planet might be hiding beyond Neptune, a serious global search began. Cutting-edge observatories from all over the world joined in the hunt. The greatest hope rested on the Subaru telescope, perched atop the summit of Mauna Kea in Hawaii. With its enormous primary mirror and ultra-sensitive camera, it could scan the night sky with unprecedented precision. Over the course of many years, scientists kept photographing hundreds of square degrees of the sky where Planet 9 was most likely to be. But they found nothing. No moving dots, no faint glow that could be traced to a distant world, nothing at all. And this wasn't the first time such a search had taken place. Back in 1983, NASA's IRAS satellite detected several mysterious sources of infrared radiation. At the time, headlines exploded with excitement. NASA discovers Planet X. But later, it turned out those signals were just distant galaxies, nothing more. In the years that followed, astronomers dug into the data from the WISE telescope and Japan's Akari Space Observatory, once again picking up faint signals that seemed to hint at the movement of some far-off object. But when newer, more powerful cameras were aimed at those exact spots, there was absolutely nothing in the sky. Maybe those detections were just observational errors. Or maybe the planet had simply continued along its orbit and drifted even farther away. So, why can't we find this planet? because it's just too far and far too dark. At that distance, sunlight becomes hundreds of thousands of times weaker than what we experience here on Earth. The light it reflects is billions of times fainter than Earth's. Even if we were staring directly in the right direction, all we'd see is a black void scattered with stars. If the planet happens to be near the most distant point in its orbit right now, it would be completely swallowed by endless night. Scientists compare this challenge to trying to spot a dark bowling ball floating on the ocean while standing thousands of miles away in the middle of the night. And still, they keep searching. Because if that planet really is out there, finding it would mean pulling back the final curtain on the solar system itself. What would change if we found it? If Planet 9 truly exists, then discovering it would rank among the greatest milestones in the history of science. And it's not just because a ninth planet would finally return to our textbooks. It's because it would fundamentally transform our understanding of how planets form and how our solar system came to be. First of all, if Planet 9 is real, it would prove that the early solar system was a chaotic, violent place. Planets didn't simply form in the exact spots where we find them today. Like enormous billiard balls flying through space, they collided, scattered, and knocked each other into new orbits over time. And if Planet 9 was hurled outward by the gravitational forces of giants like Jupiter or Saturn, it would mean our cosmic neighborhood took shape in a far more chaotic, turbulent rhythm than we ever imagined. Second, Planet 9 might actually be a visitor from somewhere else. If its orbit really is tilted so steeply, that could be a clue that the Sun once captured this planet from another star entirely. If that's the case, we could be looking at the first confirmed example of a planet that migrated here, carrying with it the memory of another solar system, and maybe even an environment built for life. And this discovery would also force us to rethink where our solar system ends. The place we once called the edge of the solar system might turn out to be nothing more than a temporary border, just a passing checkpoint. Beyond it, new worlds may be hiding in the dark. The discovery of just one planet could unlock the secrets of dozens of other distant bodies, from icy dwarf planets to the mysterious Oort cloud. Humanity has always longed for a sense of completion. When Pluto's name was erased from the list of planets, it felt like someone had smudged the final brushstroke on the painting of our universe. Long ago, sailors used to stare at the horizon, believing it was the end of the world, the place where the sun slipped into the sea. Today, as we gaze into space, we may be making the very same mistake they did. Even in the 21st century, Planet 9 reminds us that the universe is still filled with blank pages. And maybe, just maybe, this mysterious world really is out there. Massive, frozen, drifting along its path so slowly that even the sun would look like nothing more than one tiny spark among many in its sky. Or perhaps it doesn't exist at all. In that case, everything we thought were clues might simply be coincidences, tricks played by gravity and light. But even if Planet 9 turns out to be nothing more than a phantom, it has already given us something incredible. It has helped humanity rediscover the one thing that always pushes us forward: curiosity. Out beyond Neptune's orbit, past the reach of our telescopes, something truly unseen might still be drifting through the void. The final piece of the solar system's puzzle, the missing note in an ancient cosmic score, its ninth symphony. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care and goodbye.